Stars to be left out of friendly match against Atletico Madrid. Stay tuned as we bring you details of this and more shortly. The National Assembly has received the report of its appropriation committees on the 2018 budget 6 months after it was laid. The report was submitted at both Senate and House of Representatives. President Muhammadu Buhari in November 2017 presented an 8.6 trillion naira 2018 budget before a joint session of the National Assembly. Passage of the bill ever delayed as the lawmakers accuse heads of ministries, departments and agencies of refusing to submit details of budget proposals and failing to make appearances before relevant committees. The report is expected to be deliberated upon by the lawmakers before the end of the week. The deliberation is expected to be followed by passage of the bill. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives says the 2018 appropriation bill of 9.12 trillion naira will be passed on Wednesday. Deputy Speaker of the House, Yusuf Lasson, made this known after the budget report was presented by the Chairman, Committee on Appropriation, Mustafa Dawaki. The 9.12 trillion naira budget is 410 billion naira higher than the 8.61 trillion naira appropriated in 2017. Controversy had trailed the delay in the passage of the bill, with the National Assembly accusing ministries, departments and agencies of failing to defend their budget proposals. But delay had prompted President Muhammadu Buhari to issue a deadline to heads of all MDAs to defend their budgets unfailingly. The President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration has been tasked to ensure equity and justice at all times in order for peace and unity to prevail in Nigeria. Those who spoke with Human Rights Radio in Abuja said it is only when there is peace and unity that the country can experience speedy development.
Justice is needed in this land. Unfortunately, justice is not done. If we can be sincere. Okay, let's look at the issue of the herdsmen. How many people have they killed? Look at the issue of Bino Mele. We are talking about justice. You can still try him without going to Kogi. You can still take care of him without humiliating him the way he was humiliated. So to me, there's no justice. It is like might becomes right in our country, the way things are going. And that's why people saying that judiciary is the only place for the common man to hide himself. It is only justice is done, not only in one thing, in all things.
Judiciary itself is totally in disarray. If it can be revived, but his comment is very fantastic, which the nation needs for the growth. But who will refine it? It's only left to God. With time, democracy will take its position. That's what has just done.
Justice has been lost in Nigeria a long time. For us to restore that justice, we have to elevate it ourselves and change our mindset. Most of us, our mindset is that there is no justice in Nigeria. But I think it can start from me, telling myself that, oh, I must be just with those people under me. If I can be just, definitely those people above me will be just on me.
The only solution to bring unity in this country is all about making sure that every tribe participates in government activities. Since we call ourselves Nigerians, we have to bring everybody together. We have to make every tribe to have a representative in this government, Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa.
Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, has said the striking health workers in Nigeria have no right to harass other health workers not on strike or lock government facilities. Adewale, in a statement on Tuesday in Abuja, noted that the federal government will not accept any act of irresponsibility and disobedience to constituted authorities. He was reacting to a statement by the President, National Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Ugochukwu Chinaka, accusing Johesu members of locking off government health facilities to prevent access to those who are not on strike. The minister directed that all locked health facilities be reopened immediately to enable them to provide required services while negotiations continues. He warned that any person found disturbing the peace in any health facility will be made to face the wrath of the law. Today is marked World International Day of Families. In this interview, some Nigerians told our correspondent that the family has a great role to play in promoting peace and development in the country.
family need to come together and do their work. It's very paramount in developing this country, and we have to teach our children on how they will grow up and know each other in this country as one. Because the problem we have is that Igbos are now teaching their people that these people hate us. Yoruba also telling their people that Igbos are so this. Outside now telling them we are not one. Because since the family has started inculcating such a thing in their mind of their children, definitely there will be no peace in this country. The only solution is to make sure that every family teaches their children, telling them about one Nigeria.
For a nation to be busy, started from the family, from family to community, community to the regional or state before a nation. Once a family is well brought up, to have positive effect on the nation. The negative aspect we are having is almost every family is in this organization. We embrace all this series of corruption, attitudinal corruption, financial, I mentioned them, and we are producing corrupt leaders. We should not accept anybody from it.
Family seems to be the bedrock, the beginning of peace and unity in the country, because some of the things the child learns from the family might influence him, because I know some children as they are growing up, their parents might tell them this is this, that, and before you know it, they begin to form their own opinion. Parents should be advised, or families should be advised to make sure they play their role. They should not leave it to the teacher, they should not leave it to others outside, because what you fail to teach your daughter or your son, somebody else might teach him the negative one.
Without family, I don't think we can have a better country. Family is the bedrock of every humanity. Those people that are behaving somehow in government is because of their family background or the way they view themselves. So I think for you to have a good future and for you to contribute positively into your economy, you have to have a very solid and good family background.
The International Day of Families provides an opportunity to promote awareness on issues relating to families and to increase knowledge of the social, economic and demographic processes affecting them. The theme for the 2018 Day of Families is Families and Inclusive Societies. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, says the Army would end the wanton killings and destruction of properties in Birnin Gwari and environs in a very short time. Buratai gave the assurance during the flag off of the 2 Battalion Forward Operation Base at the troubled Birnin Gwari area of Kaduna State. Buratai said in the next 2 to 3 weeks, there must be a very resounding result that will bring the criminals to their knees finally. He said the commanders will be personally held responsible for unnecessary casualties, adding that the Army will now use offensive approach to crush the enemies. He said the bandits are within the territory and so must be fished out. The news at 6 will return right after this break. Stay with us. You're still listening to the news on Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM, Abuja. We now go to the foreign scene. Reports say funerals are being held in Gaza after the deadliest day of violence since a war in 2014. On Monday, 58 people were reportedly killed when Israeli troops opened fire during Palestinian protests. Monday's violence came as the U.S. inaugurated its first embassy in Jerusalem, a controversial move that broke with decades of U.S. policy and angry Palestinians. Many see the U.S. move as backing Israeli control over the whole of the city, which Israel regards as its indivisible capital. Palestinian officials said as well as those killed, about 2,700 people had been injured in what they called a massacre. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his military was acting in self-defense against Gaza's Islamist rulers, Hamas, who seek to destroy Israel. And now to sports. English Premier League stars Victor Moses, Alex Iwobi and Kelechi Iheanacho fielded in the proposed friendly between the Super Eagles and Atletico Madrid. Nigeria Football Federation Vice President Shehu Dikko informed newsmen that the top stars in the Nigeria Professional Football League will be called up for the friendly against Los Rojiblancos in Uyo. Dikko said the Chan Eagles and other professionals who are not involved in the World Cup will face Atletico Madrid. And while some Nigerians have expressed concerns over the coming friendly match between the Leopards of DR Congo billed for Port Harcourt, the River State capital, on May 28. NFF had said the match will still hold despite concerns over the recent outbreak of Ebola virus disease in the East African country.
They would have shifted the match or even gone to a neutral ground or another country because our life is more important than the friendly match. But hence they are taking that decision. The only thing they must do, which they must ensure, that they take enough advent measure because this is deadly, it's contagious. They don't know the extent it can go to affect Nigerians. So they must take advent measure. When they are going, they check them. Even when they are coming back, they should quarantine them for some time. I observe them before they mix up. Because when they bring back that, nobody knows who will be the next victim. So they must go extra miles.
Definitely, before you pass through the airport, you must have control all the assets. Our government, they said that make sure that Ebola didn't come to the country. We should take them for their work. They must have challenged the health sectors to take over, and they must have provided the necessary empowerment.
They should not shake or hug anybody, just wave at them. Think that there was some measures being placed by the Nigeria federal government to curb this thing initially. Definitely, these people can initiate this kind of things.
And with that, we come to the end of the news. But before we go, let's quickly bring you a reminder of our top stories. The National Assembly receives 2018 budget report. Federal government cautions Johesu members overtaking the laws into their hands. On the foreign scene, tension in Gaza as Palestinians begin to bury protest victims. And in sports, Super Eagles stars to be left out of friendly match against Atletico Madrid. And that's the news at 6 on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, Abuja. Many thanks for staying with us. My name is Inyene Ibanga.